At first, I thought it was just a smoke detector. Nightmare 1. I booked the Airbnb in Austin under the name Daniel R. The listing had over 200 reviews, almost all 5 stars. It was a clean 1-bedroom apartment just outside downtown. Nothing fancy, just a place to crash for the weekend. Check-in was smooth. Keypad entry, no host interaction. Inside, everything looked exactly like the photos. Neutral furniture, neatly made bed, fresh towels folded on the dresser. If anything, it felt a little too staged. That first night, I was lying in bed scrolling through my phone when I noticed something faint above me, a small, blinking light. At first, I assumed it was coming from the smoke detector. I've seen them blink before, low battery warnings or whatever, but this wasn't random. It blinked in a slow, steady rhythm, almost intentional. I tried to ignore it and went to sleep, but sometime around 2 a.m., I woke up again. The room was completely dark except for that same blinking light, still going, same pattern. That's when it started bothering me. I got up, dragged a chair over, and stood on it to take a closer look. The detector wasn't mounted flush to the ceiling. One side dipped slightly lower, like it had been removed and put back on. I turned on my phone flashlight and held it up. That's when I saw it. Inside the vent slits, there was a tiny reflective surface, a lens. My stomach dropped so fast I nearly lost my balance. I stepped down, heart racing, and stared at the ceiling. Suddenly, the whole room felt different. Not quiet, not safe. I grabbed a towel and covered the detector, then started checking the rest of the apartment. Bathroom, living room, even the hallway. Every detector looked identical. That same slight tilt, that same faint blinking. I packed my bag in under 2 minutes and left. Sitting in my car, I called Airbnb support. They told me not to go back inside. The listing was gone by morning. Later, I found an article about a host in Austin who had been arrested for installing hidden cameras in smoke detectors across multiple properties. Same setup, same method. I still think about that first night, lying there under that blinking light, not realizing I was being watched. Some hosts watch from a distance, but the next one didn't need a camera at all. If you're enjoying these true stories, subscribe to Nightmare Central, because this next one will make you think twice about the next Airbnb you rent. Nightmare 2. I booked a small house in East Nashville for a long weekend. The listing said entire home, and the reviews were solid. Nothing suspicious. The host, Melissa, messaged me right away with check-in instructions and a simple note. Make yourself at home. I won't be around. That's exactly what I wanted. The first night was normal. I grabbed food, came back, locked the doors, and went to bed around midnight. Sometime later, I woke up. At first, I didn't know why. Then I heard it. A soft metallic click, like a key turning. I stayed still, barely breathing. Then came the sound I can't forget. The front door, opening, slowly, carefully. I grabbed my phone and checked the time. 2:14 a.m. Footsteps followed. Not rushed, not hesitant, confident, like whoever it was knew the place. They moved through the living room. I could hear the floor creak in the same spots I'd walked earlier. Step, pause, step, pause. Then they stopped. Right outside my bedroom door. I could hear breathing, low, controlled, close. I didn't move, didn't speak, didn't even shift under the covers. After what felt like minutes, the handle moved slightly, just enough to test it. Locked. Another pause, then footsteps again, retreating. The front door opened, closed. Silence. I didn't sleep the rest of the night. At sunrise, I checked everything. Nothing stolen, nothing moved, just one thing different. The deadbolt I had locked was now unlocked. I messaged the host immediately. She replied, "No one else has access to the property." But something about that response felt wrong. Too quick, too rehearsed. I left early and reported it. Later, I went back through the reviews more carefully. Buried months back, I found one comment. Heard noises at night. Probably nothing. Probably nothing. I still hear that door in my head sometimes. That slow, quiet click. Because whoever came in that night wasn't guessing. You trust the listing. You trust the host. You trust the system. But sometimes the person you meet isn't even supposed to be there. Nightmare 3. I booked the Air BNB in Chicago under a verified host named Angela. The apartment looked perfect. High-rise building, city view, modern interior. Reviews mentioned how clean and safe it felt. Everything checked out. Angela messaged me the day before arrival. "Hey, I'll meet you in person to hand off the key. Easier that way." That didn't seem unusual. When I arrived, a man was already standing outside the building, mid-30s, casual, calm. He greeted me by name before I even introduced myself. That instantly put me at ease. He walked me inside, used a key fob to get through the lobby, and took me up to the unit. Everything looked exactly like the photos. Same couch, same kitchen, same view. He gave me the key, showed me how to lock the door, then left. Nothing about it felt off until the next morning. Around 9 a.m., someone knocked on the door. Loud, repeated. I opened it to find a woman standing there, confused. She said, "Hi, can I help you?" I told her I was renting the apartment. Her expression changed immediately. "No, you're not." I showed her the booking confirmation. Her face went pale. "This isn't listed on the Airbnb." My stomach dropped. She asked who let me in. I described the man. She didn't hesitate. "That's my ex-boyfriend. He used to live there, still had access to the building, still had an old key fob, and somehow he had access to her listing photos from when she briefly rented it months earlier. He recreated the entire listing. Same photos, same description, different account, different name. I checked my Airbnb app. The conversation was gone. The profile was gone. The listing, gone. No record, nothing. The real host told me I wasn't the first. At least 3 other people had shown up over the past few months, all booked through fake listings, all met by him, all let inside. That's when it really hit me. He didn't need to break in. People were letting him in, trusting him, following him upstairs, handing over their names, their schedules, their routines. I packed my things immediately. Before I left, I asked her one question. "Why didn't you change the locks?" She hesitated, then said, "I did." That stayed with me because it meant one thing. He wasn't just using an old key. He was getting back in somehow. And if she hadn't knocked that morning, I never would have known. Something even scarier than this nightmare is not watching more videos from Nightmare Central. This was Nightmares of Strangers. Sleep carefully.